Hello and welcome to the Divine in Our Time podcast, where we believe that God has not ceased to be a God of miracles. We hope that by sharing miracles, you can find God's hand in your own life. We're so glad you're here.
I am so excited. I have Emily Diamond here, and she started to tell me her story a little bit in passing, and we didn't really get into it. So I'm super excited that she's coming on, and she's going to tell what happened here. So Emily, do you want to tell us about yourself, or just dive right into the story, whatever you want to do, however you want to do this?
Well, I guess for this story, first of all, thanks for having me on. Anytime people are asking for miracles, I'm a big believer in miracles. So I was happy to add my voice to it. So I come from a family of 8. I'm number 6 and 6 girls and 2 boys. So big family. So this story takes place when I was 3 years old, which seems like I wouldn't remember anything, but I actually remember a lot, which is weird because I really don't have the greatest memory. But I called my parents last night and I told them what I was doing today. And I was like, okay, just refresh my memory of what you remember of your side. And it was really cool because my sister Holly was on the phone with them and they merged me in and she was there too. My whole family was there, but she was an active participant in this too. So it's kind of cool to hear everyone's story on this.
And what's Holly's age in relation to you? If you're 3, she's what?
She's 8 years older than me, so she would have been 11 or 12.
Okay, so she's old enough to remember what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we all went up to a lake in Idaho. We drove up to this lake. My family had this cabin that belonged to my grandmother. I guess we all piled out of the car and we were really excited to go investigate the lake. And my mom was like, don't let Emily go down there. I don't want her down there. And they're like, we'll watch her. We'll watch her.
Real quick, are you the youngest at this point in the family?
Yes, she was pregnant with my little sister and I was 3. My little sister and I are 4 years apart. So
Okay.
she had just gotten pregnant. She was sick. So she was at the house. She wasn't down at the lake. So
Okay.
we went down to the lake and Holly was in charge of taking care of me. So Holly went and dangled her legs in the lake on the dock. There's this long dock. And I sat down next to her and I wanted to dangle my legs in. And she says, no, you shouldn't do that. You're going to fall in. She doesn't remember this, but I do because I wanted to put my feet in the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And she said no. She got up and she left. And I went ahead and sat down and tried to put my feet in the lake. Well, and I was trying to reach my toes down and I slipped in.
Okay.
So at this point, I remember going, oh no, I made a mistake. I'm going to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That was my thought going in. But from there, it was just really interesting because I don't remember struggling with water. I don't remember needing to breathe. I was just under there.
You were in the water under there.
I was in the water and I was kind of under the dock. I don't know where I was at that moment, but I remember I was pretty deep in the water and I was looking around and I saw the sunlight coming in and the sun was hitting the bottom of the lake and I was looking at the stones on the lake and I was like, oh, that's really pretty. Look at the way the light's playing on the stones. And I'm just looking around and I don't remember like feeling a need to breathe or anything. Like I felt like I was kind of breathing underwater. I don't know how to explain it.
Huh.
So then I was told someone told me, someone was down there in the water with me. I never saw anybody. I don't remember anybody actually talking to me. I think it was in my mind, but I couldn't tell you for sure if it was out loud or in my mind, but somebody was talking to me. They were like, you need to come over here under the dock. And I was like, what? And so they actually physically pulled me under the dock. And I was like, well, I don't want to. Like my thoughts were, I don't want to because it's dark under the dock. And I was away from the light where it was playing on the stones.
Okay.
And so I went under the dock and they said, hold on to the dock. And I was confused. And I was like, where? Like, I don't know how to hold on to the dock. And they
Uh-huh.
took my hand and like put it on the top of the dock to hold on. I was like, okay. Like in my head, that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay. And then they're like, you need to plug your nose. And I was like, what? Like,
Okay.
I don't know. Everything was very confusing. I was like, why? Everything was a why.
Yeah.
Why? I'm totally fine. I'm not panicked. I'm totally fine. I'm don't need air.
So
I'm
real
just,
quick, when you're 3, had you had much experience with water?
I don't know.
You don't, but like
Probably. I mean, probably, but probably not a whole lot at that point.
so you
The
fell
sun.
in and you thought I'm in trouble, and then that thought just went away as you looked at the rocks,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're away from the dock at this point. You're not even close to the dock for people
No,
who are
I
like,
think I'm
she was
close
hanging
to,
onto the dock.
I think I'm close to the dock because when they pulled me under the dock, I wasn't that far from it. It wasn't a
And you
long
and you
pull.
say you never saw anything though. You just know you got
No.
pulled.
Yes.
What were you
Someone was
thinking
someone was talking to me and someone was in the water with me, but I didn't see anybody. And it was a calm presence. It was a very calm experience. I was very calm. And I was so unworried that I was just kind of like, why do I need to plug my nose? And they actually put my hand on my nose and they're like this, like this. And I was like,
what?
oh,
What?
okay, what? And so I'm like
No.
holding onto my nose. And I was like, okay.
So you've got one hand now on your nose and one hand on the dock, both of which were
Yeah.
placed there by somebody.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the meantime, up on top.
Uh-huh.
So nobody had seen me fall in.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't know where I was. They started looking around and they're like, oh, where's Emily? They were like, well, she couldn't have fallen in the water because there's nobody like freaking out in the water.
They couldn't
it
hear
was just,
splashing or anything.
no, it was just a slip in. Like it was very quiet.
So did you fall in like right out? Like did Holly just leave you there on the dock and walk away, or did you sneak back down to try and get your toes in the water? Or
I don't remember.
You don't
I just remember she got up and left, and I was still at the dock, and I still wanted to put my feet in. So I don't know if I got up at that point, but she had left.
Okay.
And I don't know how far she would have gotten, but I think it was just really quick.
Yeah.
So then at this point, somebody had seen me. Someone was in a boat on the lake, and they had seen somebody fall in.
Okay.
They had to like row towards the dock to get into view, and then yelled at my dad and said, I saw somebody fall in.
Okay.
And he said he had to yell to tell us.
Yeah.
But that was after. In the meantime, my family goes up to the house. They're searching the house. My dad goes up to the house. He's like, no, I feel like she's not up there. Comes back down.
And the house is how far away?
I don't know. Just from my memory, it was a good ways. For my little feet, it was a good ways.
Okay.
I mean, I remember going up there later, like years later. It was a good ways, but
so you've fallen into the water and everybody's looking for you and they're in the house looking for you, and now they've come back down to the water, and it's at that point the boat guy is like, hey,
I think I saw someone fall in.
Oh geez, I can't imagine that for your parents.
Yeah. So then my dad is looking around the water, just trying to see anything. And at this point, the sun is going down. It's getting dark and he can't see anything.
Oh my gosh.
He's getting ready to jump in to just blindly search in the water because he can't. He can't
Do you hear them? Are they calling your name? Like, do you hear them or anything?
Mm-mm. No, I'm just.
Is there airspace under the dock? Okay, so the dock is there's it's not like it's on platforms that you can like have your head.
It's like it's a floating dock.
Okay, so you are under the water.
I'm under.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I don't remember needing to breathe at all. So they figured that I was probably under almost 10 minutes. Probably.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He's about to jump into blind swim and just see if he can find something. There were trees kind of by the lake. And at that moment, the sun breaks through the clouds and through the trees and shines one direct light
Oh my
under the dock
gosh.
onto my face.
No way. I
Yeah.
have all these chills everywhere, Emily.
Yes.
God put
Yes.
a spotlight on you.
Yes.
Holy
It
cow.
was this spotlight that came
Holy
onto my face.
cow.
And my dad was so cute. He's like, it was the sweetest thing. It just spotlighted your little face, and your little face was looking
Oh.
up, and your eyes were open, and you were just looking around, and you looked up, and it just lit your face up.
Oh my God.
And so he bent down, and he grabbed me, and he pulled me out of the water. As soon as I came out of the water, I said, Daddy got me. And he said that I had told him that someone had told me that my daddy was going to come get me.
Oh.
And I don't remember that part. Like, I don't personally remember that. But somebody must have told me that my dad was going to come get me, and I told them. So, you know, I'm sure whoever it was that was telling me to do all this probably said, your dad's going to come get you. You know, I don't know, but I don't remember that part. But that's what he said when I got out of the water.
Oh my gosh.
I got out, he pulls me out, and he's like, it was incredible because I didn't need to revive you. You weren't coughing up water, nothing. He's like, you were completely fine. Anyway, so he carried me up to the cabin, and my mom was there, and she held me for a while, and then they gave me a shower, and I got put to bed.
Yeah.
And I remember I was so upset. Katie, a little bit older sister, she was next to me when I came out of the water, and she's like, Emily, are you okay? And I remember her freaking out, and I was so annoyed with her because I was like, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Why are you guys so upset? I couldn't understand the commotion. Like, I was just fine. I mean, it was a total miracle. I mean, nothing short of a miracle. Nobody can.
It's unbelievable. What do your parents say about it?
Oh, they have retold this story multiple times because it was such a miracle. They couldn't believe it because I didn't drown. It wasn't a drowning and come back to life story.
Yeah.
It was I didn't drown. I was underwater and I was fine.
What would you say to skeptics who are like, she must have had an air bubble or something and she just doesn't remember?
No.
Nope.
No, sorry.
I mean, there was no way. There was no way under the dock. There was no way.
No, there's no way.
Oh my gosh. I cannot imagine your parents and your dad seeing your face.
So when they went home, they felt my grandpa in between the seats who had passed. And so they're surmising that it was my grandpa that rescued me.
So what do you mean? What do you mean when they went home? They felt? Are we in a suburban
in a van?
In a
they
van?
Were in a big van.
And like they felt like grandpa was in between the driver and passenger seat.
Yeah.
They just felt his presence.
They felt his presence.
Okay.
So they think that it was probably him that saved me.
Did you know your grandpa?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Oh my gosh. I can't imagine for a mom. It makes me nauseous to think about. Cannot imagine having your little 3-year-old lost in a lake and it's getting dark somewhere. And a guy who confirms that she did go, she did fall in.
He actually came back. He rode back when I was found and was really excited.
Oh my
And he told my parents, he said, someone told me that I should tell you. Because he was way across the lake. My dad said that he was so far across the lake, they didn't even see him or notice him. He had to row.
How did he see you fall in then?
He had to have just been looking
right at the right time.
Right at the right time. And he said he thought he saw someone fall in. And he just was going to dismiss it and thought that he should tell us.
But felt like he should come over and tell you. So how in trouble was Holly for losing track of you?
Oh, she said that she felt so guilty.
Of
Like she
course
felt
she
so bad because
did.
she was supposed to be in charge. And I was like, look, I didn't do what you told me. You told me not to get in the water.
Oh my
I
gosh.
did it anyway. And it was just quick. You know how fast little kids are.
Yes.
Little kids are
Yes.
so fast. So, who knows? But that was a huge, huge deal. But
So you're
yeah,
just under there, calm as can be, holding your nose, just kind of chilling.
yep,
That's so bizarre.
yep. And it's interesting because even now, from that point on, I dream every night. I'm a big dreamer, and I have
Really?
dreams
Every night you have a
every
dream?
night. Yeah, full out episodes, stories, full out
Oh,
dreams.
some people would be so jealous of you for that, I
I
bet.
hate it.
Do
I
you?
hate it.
Why?
Yeah, because a lot of them are stressful.
Oh, stressful?
They're stressful. They're stressful
Um,
dreams that I'm trying to get through, especially as a kid. But it's interesting because some of the dreams I have, every once in a while, I'll be in water and I'll be underwater in my dream and I'll be like, oh no, I'm going to drown. And then I'm like, no, you won't. You can breathe underwater, remember? And every dream I have of water, it's so weird because somehow in my subconscious that stayed there that it's okay. You can breathe underwater. You'll be fine.
oh my gosh.
So, which is weird. It's just a weird side effect of,
Well, I guess
just
if
something.
somebody can walk on water, there's no reason they can't breathe underwater, right?
I guess not. Like, I guess not.
Wild.
Yeah.
That is
So it's
wild.
interesting.
Tell me more what your parents said about this.
My dad was getting ready to pull out a lifeless kid,
Yeah.
because it had been too long. And
What goes through your mind when you hear of other people that have lost children to drownings in particular? Because you definitely should have died.
well, Brittany, I don't know why the Lord does what he does. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, it's life. I have a saying that I always say well, you know this saying, but the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh.
Yep.
Blessed be the name of the Lord. And
Yep.
I have no answers except for that. And I don't know why he spares some and intervenes and with some, and I don't really know. I've known so many stories of miracles, of interventions, and
Mm-hmm.
so many stories of sorrows,
Mm-hmm.
and none of it is equal to the other. Like there's no rhyme or reason to it other than something that God knows and you don't know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I do have a few other stories for you. I don't know how much time you have.
Yes. I have as much time as you have.
So, I I have so many miracles in my life. So, I was thinking about the ones that have affected me personally. Like that one obviously affected me, but I was so little that it took till I was older to really understand the immensity of what
Yeah.
happened to me. I think it impacted my faith in general. I
Okay.
don't ever remember doubting God or doubting that he was there or doubting that we had guardian angels. I always knew that. So that shaped me that way. I've always known, and I kind of, if I were to trace it, that's probably
Why?
how I've always known. Okay, there was a story. This is with Max. He's my oldest son. So when he was about 4, he lost a little blue rubber ball and just one of those little tiny ones. And no big deal. And he prayed to Heavenly Father every night for this blue rubber ball. And I was waiting for him to just give up
Okay.
because there's no way we were finding that ball. It was gone.
Yeah.
Like, no way. But he prayed for like 2 weeks for this ball.
That's a lot for a 4-year-old. That's a lot
It's
for
a
most
lot.
adults,
It's
actually.
a lot. And he was so persistent and he really believed that he would find this ball.
Uh-huh.
So we went to the grocery store and I opened his door like I had a van and the van door I pulled open and across the parking lot rolled this little blue ball underneath my door. And right when he popped out, this little blue ball popped out from underneath the car. It had
What?
rolled.
Some random ball came down the parking lot, and right when he stepped out, it rolled from under the van right to
Yep.
his feet.
Yep.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I know that is like a nothing story, but to me, it's a big story
No,
because
it's not a nothing story. And
it,
that's the best part about stories like this is like it doesn't
yes,
even matter, right? But it's
yeah.
there.
Well, I was like, oh my gosh, like it was more for me than for him.
Yeah.
Like it was like whatever you think is important, God thinks is important.
Yeah.
And so that was such a big lesson to me. It was like this little ball was important to him. And so it was important to God. And I swear to you, there was probably just an angel that like released the ball and sent it was
He's
like,
like,
here's your ball.
he said to the angel next to me, he's like, watch this. This is going to be
Watch
rad.
this. This is gonna be a cool.
So theatrical.
Yeah, it was so theatrical. I mean, he couldn't just place it somewhere in the house. It had to be a grand entrance.
That's so funny. Oh
I
my
know.
gosh. And that is crazy. That is crazy. Was it the
It's,
exact same one? Is there any way to know if it was the same one?
I don't know if it was the same one, but it was the exact same type
Color
ball.
and everything.
Everything. Same ball.
It was the same
So,
one to Max. So that's all
yes,
that
it was the
matters.
same one to Max. And I was like,
Oh my gosh.
Max,
What
you
did he
have
do?
no idea what just happened.
Yeah. What did he do? How did he respond?
He was like, oh, my blue ball.
That was it. He wasn't like, I've been praying for this.
Yeah, I don't remember. I was so shocked. I don't
Oh my
like,
gosh.
that's your blue ball.
That's hilarious.
I
Oh,
know. It was cute.
wow. Wow. That's
No, I love that story
adorable.
because I love little miracles because they're amazing. It's still amazing. It could have been anything, but for me it was a miracle.
Yeah. No, it was.
So,
For sure. And again,
yeah.
like God cares about what you care about. And it's funny because as a mom, you're not still looking for this ball 2 weeks later, right?
No.
Like, but
No.
our heavenly parents are like, I got you. I
I
got
got
you.
you.
Our heavenly father's
This
like,
angel's on it. He's gonna give you
I'm
that
sending
blue
one of the
ball.
better ones. Just wait. It'll be worth it. The reveal will be worth it.
Yeah, the reveal's gonna be awesome.
Oh my gosh. Did you see
So
it coming down the parking lot?
I saw it like around the curb and come under the car. So
You
like
saw
I
it
was
go
like,
around a curb and come
yeah,
under your
it was
car.
coming like down the curb and like under. So I was right next to one of those little hub curb things in the parking
Okay.
lots.
Okay.
And
Yes,
that's
yes,
where
yes.
it came across from.
So for all you people thinking she opened the door and the ball just fell out, that's not what happened. She
No,
saw it coming down. That's
yeah,
amazing. That is so rad.
which is it's so funny. It's
It
really funny.
is. It is.
So then I've got another one, and my littlest one, Ella, she was 2, and we were out just right out in the driveway, and I was talking to a neighbor, and Ella started freaking out and screaming. So I sent her inside, and I'm talking to my neighbor, and all of a sudden, everything stops in my head, and I receive this clear vision. And Brittany, I've never had this before, and I've never had it since. It was only this time.
Okay.
And it was this vision of her pulling a stool over to the stove. And I forgot that I had a boiling pot of water on the stove.
Uh-huh.
And she had it was this vision of her pulling the stool over, climbing up on the stool, and reaching into the pot.
Ooh.
And that vision came into my head it was like someone stuck a video in my head
Mm-hmm.
and everything
Super
stopped.
clear. Super clear. It
Yeah.
was more than just a thought.
Yeah, it was like this
Will
absolute
happen.
video vision. Yes. And I looked at my neighbor and I was like, I gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran inside, and right when I walked in the kitchen, she was on the stool and she was about to reach in.
No.
Yeah.
You
So,
walked in and she had her hand up to reach into
yep,
that water.
yep.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it was just an immediate and I don't know if the spirit was like, she can't wait for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's got to get in there now, or
Oh my
So
gosh.
anyway, I've never had that before, and I've never had that since. I've never had that sort of thing put in my head since.
Mm,
So that was a miracle.
my goodness. I think it's interesting too when things like that happen because, again, you'll have the skeptics or you'll have that's like, oh, well, it was just a thought. But it's like, yeah, but if I just imagined a video put in my head, I would do that for a lot of things, right? Like, and
Yeah,
until you know or until you've experienced it or unless you've experienced, you really don't understand. It's the same thing with, I feel like, voices where people are like, oh, well, that was just their own thought. And
yeah,
but it's like, no, this voice was very distinct. It was this person's voice or this just a voice that I had never heard. And it brought comfort or it brought whatever or warning. And it's like, well, why wouldn't I do that all the time then?
yeah.
Why wouldn't I warn myself all the time about a kid about
Right.
to potentially ruin their arm? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
anyway, I just think people that try and explain some of these things away, it's silly.
it is. Well, and I think there's a lot of people out there, a lot of women that, you call it women's intuition
Yep.
or mother's
Mothers. Yep.
intuition, and it's a very real thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot
100%.
of people understand that.
Wow.
This one, and I've had a lot of instances, you probably have too, where you've been warned about something but that was just really unusual.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Wow.
it was a different
Wow.
one. I have one more big one.
Okay.
This one is big.
Okay.
I've always had, I mean, the Lord has really looked out for me with health and things. I have really bad allergies. I'm anaphylactic reaction to shrimp and, shellfish and things like that. So I've had miracles of healing with that when I haven't had my EpiPen with me for some reason. I've had things like that through my life.
Okay.
So I have had divine intervention with those things. This one was really, if I could have sat in front of Jesus and asked him to heal me and he bent down and healed me, this is exactly, I mean, I don't see a difference with what happened to me.
Okay.
Um, so I had heart problems when I was 34. I found out that I had heart problems. I had what's called an SVT or supraventricular tachycardia.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very severe. I would be doing something outside and my heart would start racing and it would collapse me to the ground.
Real quick. So, SVT, your heart is beating like crazy. So, if your heart is beating way too fast, your chambers aren't getting filled adequately. So, getting the blood out to your body is not happening, which is why she's passing out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So eventually I got a heart monitor and it showed that I, got up to 220,
Oh my gosh.
420, like it was hitting really high numbers. And I found out later my aunt,
60 to 100 is normal, just for reference.
yeah.
So,
And so even now, even after my surgery, if I exercise, my heart rate will go to 170, 180 still after the surgery. So
just
I still have an issue.
easy exercise. Like, how hard do you have to
Anything, if I'm
exercise?
putting my hands up over my head doing anything, it will hit that pretty easy.
Oh my gosh.
So if I'm walking, if I'm taking a walk, it's pretty well stays around 130.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So it's
Just
just kind of my heart rate will always be high. It's just kind of that thing, even though it was fixed, it will always just be high.
do they know why?
I think it was genetic.
Okay.
My aunt called me and told me that I have two great aunts that died from it.
Okay.
So I think it's just a heart issue that probably is in our family. So during this time, it's actually not about the heart. It's about something totally different,
Okay.
but it has to do with the heart. So when I was finding this out, I had to go in to get a heart monitor implanted. So it's at the time it was like the size of a USB drive. It's like a stick.
Okay.
So that was implanted into my chest so that they could monitor, so that they could track the electrical impulses so that they could go in and do surgery. So it helps them just see where it is so that they can track it down and do that.
It helps them to pinpoint. So real quick, when your heart is beating, you have a whole set of impulses and it has to go in a certain order. And there's one that kind of sets the pace. It's called the SA node. But sometimes that one can get off or something else can take over and it screws up the whole thing. And if you don't have your beats in the right way, you will not, your heart has to beat so that your chamber can fill up, and then it pumps it down into the next one, and the next one fills up, and then it pushes everything out. So you have your 4 chambers, and it has to be in the correct way and the correct tempo so that your chambers can both fill adequately and then empty adequately, so that your body is getting all the blood, if that makes a little bit better sense.
Right.
So
right.
they have this little USB size monitor in you to see where the mess up is happening, what node is misfiring. They all have to work in coordination and in sync so that your heart can beat adequately. So they're trying to pinpoint exactly where the screw up is happening so they can address it.
Yep.
Okay.
So there were miracles leading up to this. I had these problems. My dad is a doctor. He knew about it. And one morning before I got this implanted, he called me and he said, Emily, I really feel like you need to go in right away. And so he said, I woke up this morning and I really felt like you need to go in. Because at this point, I'm 34 years old. I feel invincible. I work on a farm. I'm carrying big things around, hay bales and bags of things. And he calls me and tells me this. And so I'm like, okay. So that's when I went in and got this monitor put in. That's when I took it seriously.
So when he called and woke up and said, I just feel really strongly that you should go in, that's when you got into the doctor, and then they decided to put the monitor in. Is that right?
Yes. Now, it was the sequence of that event. So as soon as I got the monitor in, that weekend, I went on this little vacation with my family, and I had multiple episodes, so that by the time I got back Sunday, I was having so many problems. I couldn't even put on my shoe, and I had to go to the ER. My heart was going crazy and it wouldn't stop. So went in, and because I had the monitor in, when my dad told me to go, they were able to throw me into surgery on Tuesday.
Because they already knew exactly where it was happening.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So because that timeline, and it had gotten to the point where it was so serious that I could have had a heart attack or something at that point, because my heart was so overreacting.
Yeah.
That I really didn't have time at that point to mess around more. But let's go back to having the heart monitor put in, because this is where things went crazy. So it's a simple procedure. They put it under the skin, under the tissue next to on your chest. They put it in there. Well, in surgery,
it's kind of similar to a port when you see people with their little cancer port. It's like the same type of thing. So you could see the imprint, you could see the outline when you had it in. And feel it right there.
I had this, it stuck out of my skin. Not out of, but you could feel it under my skin.
Yeah, yeah.
So when they were doing this, I was kind of put under not deep anesthesia to do this, but just kind of, it wasn't way deep. In surgery, I woke up to this horrendous pain within surgery.
Okay.
And it was this shot of pain that came from here and shot down my arm. And it woke me up.
It came from her left side chest and shot down her left arm. She had this really bad pain. Sorry.
Yeah. And so this was in the middle of them implanting this.
Okay.
And I woke up and I told them, I was like, something hurts really bad. I hurt really bad. And then they didn't talk to me, and they just and they put me back out. Yeah. And they did something, and the pain numbed and went away. But when they did that, and when I woke up, I was like, that's not right. Something's not right. I knew something was messed up. So how
did you know? Because anybody is going to go, well, of course you're having pain because we're cutting you open. And that's what they're thinking, right? Oh, she's awake. Of course she hurts. Let's put her back under.
a stabbing, you're gonna die pain that shot through my side and arm.
Okay.
Like I've had surgeries. I've never had anything like that.
Okay.
So I got out of surgery and I'm already worried about my heart. I'm already worried about my mortality at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
I already don't know what's going on and worried and going through all this and scared because you only have one heart. So I wake up, get out of there, and I have no feeling in my left arm. And my left arm is dead and my hand doesn't work. My arm is like it feels like when you hit it really hard and you hit your funny bone and
Mm-hmm.
that's what it felt like.
Pins and
So
needles. Pins and needles,
it
but
was more than that. It was very painful, but dead. Definitely a
yeah.
nerve pain, like
Okay.
nerve injury. Like I couldn't really bend my fingers. I couldn't really move them that well. I mean, I could, but just it was hard and everything hurt. And I would go in between holding it like this and putting it down and holding it back up. And I couldn't get relief. Like it was just, so that went
So
on
real
for,
quick, when you're holding it up like as if it's in a sling, are you able to put it up or are you having to pick it up with your other arm?
I'm
And
picking it up.
so you're picking it up with your right arm and holding it so that it's like in a sling position and putting it
Yeah,
down and up and down, trying to get some sort of
relieve
relief
it.
on this
Yes.
pain that feels like
Yes.
funny bone pain.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just intense. And I have a few days of this, and I'm starting to get really worried because it's not going away and it's injured. So I call my heart doctor and I'm like, I think they cut a nerve when they did this. And I remember when they did because I woke up. So I was freaking out at this point because I already have a heart problem and now my arm is just dead and on fire and damaged and I have a farm and I'm not going to be able to do anything that I do. I'll
Yeah.
have to quit everything
One
that I
arm.
do on the farm.
Real quick, what did your doctor say? Did you talk to them about it before you left the hospital?
I don't think so because
Okay.
at that point it was numbed up.
Okay.
So I didn't know if it was just something I felt during surgery and it was fine now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they really numbed it up after.
Yeah.
So I'm panicking. And when I called my doctor and I'm like, I think they cut a nerve. And they're like, well, you're going to have to go to the neurologist now. And I was like, are you serious? So now I have to go to a neurologist to see about this that might not be fixed because it feels major.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm really scared and very upset. And
Yeah.
so I kneel down. I'm in my bedroom and I kneel down and I just poured my heart out to the Lord. And I was just like, I'm already scared about my heart. I already am dealing with that and now I can't use my arm and I have to go to a neurologist and I don't even know if that's going to work because what are they going to do? Like once you sever a huge nerve, like it might regenerate at some point, but I mean
It's
it's
a long
possible. I don't know
road.
enough about all that, but um I'm like, this is a big deal to me and I'm really scared. And I was just begging. I was like, I don't know if you can interfere at this point. Like I'm just talking to like whatever you can do. I said, I don't want to go to another doctor. I've already been seeing doctors. I don't want to
And
deal
real
with
quick,
this.
for people that live very healthy lives, which is fabulous, you can't really understand the anxiety and the exhaustion, mental, physical, and emotional exhaustion that comes from tons of doctor's appointments. So for you to be like, we'll just go to the neurologist. Yeah, but like I just don't want to and it's because I'm tired and until you've been there, you can't really
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah, it was a culmination. That morning, it
Mhm.
was just a culmination of this isn't getting better. I know enough about nerves to know that they can't piece it back.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do?
Yeah.
And it was a time of panic. I was just really panicked.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm begging Heavenly Father, like, I don't know if you can do something. Please do whatever it is. Like, if it means I have to go to the neurologist, but somehow fix this. Please
Mm-hmm.
fix this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I close the prayer and I'm just in tears and nothing happens. I don't feel anything. And I get up from the prayer and Brittany, my hand, I felt in my hand all this feeling come back into my fingertips and work down my hand and all the way up my arm. And I had complete feeling back and everything. And the pain went away and it was immediate.
Whoa.
And and
Oh.
I the the voice or feeling that came to my head was I was just waiting for you to ask.
Oh. It's so funny you said that because like 2 minutes, I'm actually in tears. Hang on. Like 2 minutes ago, when you were telling this story, I was thinking, ask for and expect miracles, which is something that our prophet has said, is to ask for and expect miracles. And that's ironic if
No, it is.
that's what you came up and it was like, I just wanted you to ask. That's what
Yeah.
we're supposed to do. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, like I said, I've had so many other miracles of healing that I knew he could do it. I
Yeah.
knew that it was possible. I just
Yeah.
didn't know if I had used up my quota. That sounds funny, but like, okay, you've saved me a million times with my
Yeah.
anaphylactic shock. You've saved me with certain, but like this is kind of a huge thing, and I don't know if you want to do this for me, but that'd be really great.
Oh, I just can't imagine. What were you thinking as you start to feel this? Were you like, oh, okay? Or were you like, oh my gosh, he's actually doing this? Or like, what was your thought as the feeling started to come right back up and work its way down your arm and you felt that tingling? What were you thinking? Was it unbelievable to you? Like,
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was
even though
like
you just said that, even though you just asked and you knew it could happen, and then when it
yeah.
happens, it's still unbelievable.
Yeah, it still was unbelievable. When I tell you that if I had sat in front of the Savior and he had healed me, it felt the same way
Oh,
as what I would, because it was like, and I held my hand up like this
uh-huh.
as it was
As you watched
happening.
it, you were able to
And
hold your hand up
because
for the first time.
I was like, oh my gosh, as it started to just recede all the
Oh,
way up. And I just watched it go. And then I did this,
and she
you
she
know?
she flexed her fingers.
Yeah, I flexed my fingers, I flexed my arm, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like,
Oh my
oh my
gosh.
gosh. And of course, like I got back down and I was like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. But it was so unbelievable. It was so like
Uh-huh.
such a blatant miracle of healing. It was so blatant that
Yeah.
it wasn't like, oh, you went to the neurologist, you're going to get better someday, it will
Yeah.
be okay someday. Like, and Brittany, I mean, I've had my hip problems forever. Like, there's other things that have happened to me that I have definitely done the long road with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean,
Well,
a
even the
fail.
heart thing, right? The heart, you had to go get the monitor and you had to go get surgery and fix those things and you still have issues. So it's not like God's just there for Emily every time she asks him to fix it. Like,
Yeah. And I don't know why he fixed that.
yeah.
Again, it's like one of those things like you don't know when he's going to intervene. You don't know when he's not. But I asked, and like he's like, I was just waiting for you to ask. So I
Wow.
don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but boy, I'm glad I asked.
I bet. I bet. Okay, so here's my thing, and this is something that I've struggled with. I believe God is a God of miracles, but we are told to ask for them, right? Ask for and expect miracles. How do you think that impacts people's faith when they do ask and they don't receive the miracle they want? So our prophet, President Nelson, he gave that advice a couple years ago, and even when he gave it, I almost feel like he's setting people up for failure and for disappointment?
Um, for me, I mean, that's why I told you the story of the little blue ball, because um, how many things have I prayed about that have not come to pass? There's things that I'm currently praying about that are huge,
Yeah.
that are going to take a lot of time. And I think every time God doesn't answer the way that you want, there's a reason. And that's why he's all knowing and all wise and omnipotent. And I just don't think for something to not happen, for that to be a reason to disbelieve that those miracles are there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like with my hip surgery, for instance, I went back to work, I started grooming dogs again. And I think it was like the day or two that I started back, I was trying to only do small dogs so that I wouldn't have to lift big dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow I got this large dog on my schedule, and it wasn't just a large dog, it was a large dog that goes limp when you try to pull her somewhere.
Oh
Like she won't
no.
get on the table, she won't get in the tub, like,
Yeah.
and she's 70 pounds.
Ugh.
And I during this time I'm praying about so many things. There's a lot of deep, hard things that I'm dealing with. And the heavens just feel closed.
Yeah.
It just feels like with these big, heavy things, it just feels like heaven's just waiting and you're just waiting. And it's just, when is this going to happen? And is it ever going to happen? So I had this going on and with other things, not just with this hip surgery. So I have other things going on. And I didn't even pray about this, but the day that I had this dog, um, Rick leaves home, he goes to work. Well, that day, that the second I needed to take that dog out of the tub, Rick comes home at that very minute that I needed to switch that dog from the tub to the table. And he
Mm-hmm.
walks through the door, and it was in the middle of the day,
Mm.
and he shouldn't have been home. And he comes through and he moves the dog for me. And those are times when, and that's happened to me, not that very thing, but things like that
Mm-hmm.
that I've seen through my life that have happened more than once where I turn to God and I'm like, okay, you see me.
Yep.
I know that you know that I know that you know
Yeah. Yeah.
that you see me
Yep.
and that you know I'm struggling and that you see me because that was a miracle to me that he walked through the door so that I didn't injure myself
Yeah.
doing something that I shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
But, he sent Rick home, walked through the door, was able to help me. But it's those little things that we should be looking for. Those
Yep.
little miracles, if you can't see them in your life, they're there. And
Pray to see them, right? Pray.
yeah, you
Show
pray
me
to
your
see them,
hand today.
look for them,
I'm
you know,
struggling. Are the heavens closed? Let me
are the
know.
heavens closed? And sometimes they feel very closed for a while.
Yep.
And then something happens like that, and you can say, oh, that was just coincidence, or you can say, no, the Lord is looking out for me. I just have to wait for some of these things.
Mm.
And sometimes it's no, and no's okay. When you start understanding that no is okay because it means that something else is there, unanswered prayers can can mean other things. Now, suffering, like unanswered prayers that make you suffer, like severe
Mm-hmm.
suffering, loss of a child, loss of a spouse, loss, that kind of severe suffering, I don't have an answer for. I just know that we're here temporarily and we all leave. We're all here and we're all gone. So that there must be something eternally that it's okay. God's like, it's okay. It's okay. And it's okay to suffer. Somehow during my lifetime, that's another message that has come through to me that it's okay to suffer.
Mm.
And it's part of our life. It's part of everyone goes through it. I don't know. In fact, I don't know anybody our age that hasn't suffered in some way.
Yep.
Do you?
No, no.
Do you
I mean,
know anyone that
every
hasn't?
everybody gets it.
So if that's the case, if every single person you know and I know goes through something that they suffer and it's a severe suffering, then somehow we are meant to be here to suffer at some level. And the purpose of that is only known to God. I have my ideas about it, but there's no way around it. Can't pray everything away.
Oh, I know, but how nice would it be? But then we would not be who we need to be, right?
No, you wouldn't.
Nothing comes for free. Nothing comes for
No,
free. And if we want to be like Christ, then we don't get just to pray to be like him, and that's all it takes, because it
right,
took him an awful lot to become the way he is.
right. I also don't really want to face my ancestors without having gone through some suffering. And I know
Really?
that sounds funny, but I know my ancestors suffered an awful lot. And so for me to go through life and have zero suffering or like minimal, and then go up there and be like, hey, I,
Hey, we're gonna be
hey,
neighbors.
wasn't that a great life? I I don't know. I just think of all the people that went before us, and like we're sitting here with air conditioning and antibiotics and a
Yeah,
low child mortality rate. It's they just suffered so much with death and grief and illness. And boy, if
yeah,
someone had an infection, they would be worried that they were going to die,
yep, yep,
So I don't deal with that.
yeah, yeah. Well, I
Anyway,
guess you get through severe suffering the same way you get through any other suffering, which is you get your little tender mercies or your God winks every now and again, right? That
yeah,
give you the strength and the courage and the faith to keep going and trusting. And
yeah. And if you can recognize that,
yeah, yeah.
then you're good. Who was it that talked about in her general conference talk about she had cancer and someone came and gave her a little frosty?
Yes, primary presidency. Amy, I think her first name's Amy, but
Yeah,
yes, I
like a
know
melted frosty.
it's one of my favorite. Yes.
And that was a miracle.
Yes.
And it's exactly things like that. Her
Real quick,
cancer
so
was,
that people who know, there was a lady, she was going through cancer. She had, I think, radiation on her throat. I think it was thyroid or throat cancer. Anyway, she had radiation and her throat was killing her. She had all these little kids, and a lady showed up to her house with a Frosty that she had gotten through the Wendy's drive-through, so it was half melted by the time she got there. And she said, I don't know why, but I just felt really strongly to bring you this. And she gave her this Frosty, and it turned out to be like the most perfect texture, and it was cold on her throat, and she didn't have to swallow it, and it just was like such a relief for all the pain she was having. Meanwhile, she's got all these little kids and all this, just a really hard time in life, and this lady shows up with this half melted Frosty, and which I also love that the lady went through on that, because I'm like, if I got a prompting to give somebody going through cancer a Frosty that is half melted, I'd be like, no, I got to make him dinner, but I can't make him dinner, so I'm not going to do anything.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that was really brave of her to do that. And what a perfect tender mercy that this lady needed, that she didn't know
yeah,
she needed.
yeah. It's the little miracles like that make you remember that he knows that you're there.
Yep. Give you the strength to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Emily, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing all these crazy stories. They're all fabulous. I can't decide which one was my favorite because they're all so great in their different way. Like, I love the ball, but also your hand one just brought me to tears, and I was sick to my stomach listening to you talk about your parents looking for you. I just cannot imagine the
No,
anxiety,
I can't imagine the horror. I just
right?
can't imagine the horror.
Uh,
And then just the realization that he has to dive in and
Start
look for
looking
a body.
somewhere. Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
remarkable.
it is remarkable.
I feel like, at least for me, doing this podcast, my biggest thing is I truly do just want people to try and look harder for their tender mercies,
Hmm.
right? For their little God winks, because I know that they're there. I know everybody gets them, and life's hard. You need them.
Yeah.
You need to know that a higher power is looking out for you. And
Yeah. And I think those big miracles
hmm
are kind of once in a lifetime.
yeah,
I mean, maybe some people have really big miracles all the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the most of them are these little things that are just amazing. But a blue ball is
Yep.
amazing to me,
Yep. Yep.
and maybe not to anybody else, but to me it was. God just reveals himself in these ways if we look for it.
Yep. Well, and that's my favorite part, and that's my favorite way is these super intimate, super personal. Nobody's going to know about this blue ball except for you. Nobody's going to be
Yeah.
impressed by this blue ball, but he doesn't do it to be impressive or to have a great story. He does it to say, I got you.
I got you. Yep.
Oh,
And
goodness.
such a sweet thing to my son. It was
Yeah.
so sweet.
Yeah, I love
Such a sweet thing for him. Just a lot of stories. I'm sure you have a lot of God winks too.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the more you talk to people like our parents' age, any of the older generations, and you find out what they really have gone through, I'm just like,
If they'll talk about it, I feel like a lot of
Oh,
times the
I
older
know.
generation doesn't like they don't talk about it as much. I do like that people are becoming more open with their struggles to
Yeah.
normalize it. Like this is just
Yeah.
part of it and it's one of the parts and that's what makes the good parts so good.
It's just part of it. The Lord gives and the Lord takes.
Yes.
Blessed be the name of the Lord. That's what I say.
Emily, thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I believe in miracles, and if there's a place for me to add my voice, I'll lend it because I really,
you.
really have been a benefactor of miracles. So,
Yeah.
love it. I love that you're doing this and that you're talking about it.
Yeah, it's
And
been good. I love hearing them. I love hearing all the stories. It's been great.
yeah, and also just recording for my kids and grandkids. Like
Yes.
to have something out there
Mm-hmm.
that they can look up and be like, oh, grandma. I don't know, but I think it's cool to make sure that my testimony's out there about God and that he exists.
And what is your testimony?
Oh,
Close us out
like
with
I say,
it.
I've always had a deep faith in God. My testimony is really based on the fact that I know he's there. And I thought that everyone knew that. And I didn't realize they didn't until I got older. And I realized that not everyone had that gift of knowing that, and that some people struggled with that. And I have always known he was there. And so knowing that line upon line and feeling things, personal revelation, um, we haven't even talked about other miracles that I've had through things that I've been told by the Spirit. Those things are more personal, more, deep. But when you're educated by the Spirit about your failings in a good way, and this is what you need to do, or this is what needs to change. He's so involved in my life and your life and cares about it. And so I know that Heavenly Father lives. I know that Jesus Christ lives. I know that the Spirit is there looking out for us. And I'm just really grateful that I have that knowledge because, like I said, I don't think everybody knows that.
Yep.
I think they have other things that they maybe believe or know, but yeah, that's really the basis. If you have a core of what you think, that's the core of what I think.
Well, thank you. I couldn't agree more. He is there. He's alive and well and involved in every detail. Well, thank you so much, Emily. It was so good to talk to you.
Thanks, Brittany, for giving me the opportunity.
You have a great weekend.
You too.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Divine in Our Time podcast. And if you have a miracle you'd like to share, please email us at thedivineinourtime@gmail.com. And remember, God has not ceased to be a God of miracles. Have a great day.